Hello friends, welcome back to the channel, and today I would like to share with you my review of the Kosmos LED set for Bandai Perfect Grade Unleashed Nu Gundam. Originally, we built and reviewed the PGU Nu Gundam back in February of this year, and while that kit was overall a pretty decent experience, I had some things that I did not like very much about it. Things like the flimsy waist inner frame, no dedicated fin funnel stand options, a very lackluster action base, and of course the absence of the LEDs for a kit that was at the time priced around 800 Canadian or $700 US, and there was absolutely no chance I was going to shell out another $200 for a set of Bandai LEDs. The value and the functionality of that set was simply not worth it for me. So when the Kosmos announced their LED set for the PGU Nu Gundam, you know it took me less than a second to pre-order mine on GUNDAM. Well, actually it took me a little longer than that, since they first put up a listing for the version of the LED set with only 2 fin funnel effects, and later the version for all 6, so there was a bit of a change up on my end, but I digress. Having previously installed a whole bunch of Kosmos LED sets, as a matter of fact, the PGU Nu is my 9th Kosmos LED installation, and knowing how cool real great high Nu LED fin funnel effect was, I was pretty excited to get my grabby hands on this bad boy and spice up my PGU Nu Gundam. And before we dive into the review, a quick message about the stores that helped make this video possible. My friends, let's be honest, these days there are a ton of places where you can buy model kits and figures. Heck, sometimes it feels like you can pick up a gunpla at the post office. But when people ask me where I get my kits and figures from, the answer is actually pretty simple. There are only 2 stores that I personally use on a regular basis. And there are also the 2 businesses that continue to support this channel and my ever-growing plastic addiction. If you're looking for your next third-party kit, figure, or collectible, consider checking out GUNDAM and use reviewer code SKH. And if you're hunting for your next Bandai, Kotobukiya, or other first-party release, consider stopping by GundamExtra.com. I've been a customer of both stores for years. They've always treated me well, they've got great customer service, competitive prices, and solid rewards programs. As always, do your own research and only buy from stores that you're comfortable supporting. And before we get back to the video, I just want to say something that I probably don't say often enough. This channel is not my job. I'm not a full-time creator. I'm just a guy with a regular office job who happens to love giant robots, mecha model kits, action figures, and talking about them on the internet. Everything you see here exists because of a hobby that somehow grew into this amazing community. So whether you're supporting the channel through the sponsors, watching a video, leaving a comment, clicking the like button, or simply spending a few minutes of your day hanging out with me, please know that I genuinely and truly appreciate it more than you know. The support from GUNDAM and Gundam Extra is incredibly humbling, and the support from all of you is something I never take for granted. It's genuinely an honor to share this hobby with all of you. Alright, enough of the sentimental stuff, back to the video. So, the Kosmos set for PGU Nu Gundam comes in a pretty standard packaging, which includes a bunch of baggies with all LED modules, a replica of Bandai's power and control box, a bunch of tape for mounting, a set of either 2 or 6 ginormous transparent effect parts, a remote, and a nice little metal plaque specific to the PGU Nu Gundam. As per usual, Kosmos also includes a little manual which mostly is used to inventory check your kit, see the connection diagram, and some other basic info regarding power supply requirements, remote, and the mobile app. For PGU Nu, Kosmos have published their now traditional installation video guides, which I have linked in the description of this video. They always do a nice job of showing you exactly how to install their LED sets, and I highly recommend checking out their channel. But if you instead prefer following along my installation process, then check out my livestream recording from July 25th. The link is also in the description. As per usual, I was taking my sweet time installing the kit, showing and narrating the entire process, so it should be super duper easy to follow along in real time. And remember, whichever guide you choose to follow, always do wiring and power checks first to make sure that your LED set works fine. So, this LED set consists of 3 main parts. First, the inner body LED module. This one is super easy to install, as all you need to do is follow along the original Bandai manual that comes with the PGU Nu. The Kosmos module is for the most part a direct replica of the Bandai's LED set, with the exception of the chest LEDs. Unlike Bandai's single LED solution, Kosmos opted to create custom-shaped PCBs with, I believe, 5 LEDs per chesticle. They are very easy to install and result in cool dynamic lighting effects. The chesticle LEDs are RGB, while the main body camera, cockpit, and the head unit LEDs, I believe, are single-color greens, yet they do support some effects. Then we have a set of LEDs for the backpack. These are also pretty easy to install, as they only need you to remove the thrusters, 4 of them, and slot tiny round PCBs inside the metal veneers, and fix them in place with the help of the original orange effect parts. Power distribution PCB can be mounted on double-sided tape under the manipulator arm in the middle of the backpack, and be careful not to break it, as the arm will no longer fully fold in. And finally, the main event are the fin funnel LEDs. Depending on which option of this set you choose, you either get 2 or 6 of these. Each fin funnel gets a long LED PCB for the main effect part, a rectangular LED PCB for the inner center core, a massive transparent effect part made of plexiglass with a lightning print on it, and a wire that seems to be about 2 feet long, and a bunch of double-sided tape. The fin funnel LED wires connect to a single distribution board near the control module. I chose to mount mine externally for easy access, but more on that in a second. Similar to the backpack LEDs, the fin funnel module is custom to Kosmos, and you will need to follow theirs or mine installation processes. Technically, it does not require any modification to install, but I suggest doing a very tiny mod for better wire management. Namely, when you run the power wire under one of the yellow parts towards the action base connection slot on the fin funnels, the yellow part won't snap back in place, but if you cut out a tiny divot in the inner frame, like this, boom, issue mostly fixed. And speaking of mods, this LED set does not require you to modify your PGU Nu at all. If you follow Kosmos' original guide, the process is completely harmless, reversible, and easy. It just might take a little while, as there is a lot of stuff to install. But yeah, I would say you can make it look prettier by doing this tiny modification on the funnels for better wire management. And since we are on the topic of mods, in my case I also chose to modify the action base quite a bit. Namely, I cut out a small opening at the back of the base to pass through the USB power wire. I mounted the USB-C power plug inside the base on a screw. Then I used 2 Action Base 5 squares to create mounting platforms for the fin funnels. You see, since the original PGU Nu action base is just an old unicorn base, it does not have any mounting options for the PGU Nu's fin funnels, except for their half-assed weight support add-on. It means that we need to figure something out in order to have the fin funnels that float around the main kit. I had a few ideas in mind. At first I was going to simply use 3 sets of Action Base 7s, 6 in total, to pose the funnels around the base, but I quickly found out that was going to be too messy and take too much space. Instead, I decided to use some of the space at the back of the action base. The 2 Action Base 5 squares are actually screwed to the main base, like properly screwed. Trust me, those fin funnels are heavy as hell. Then I used the Action Base 7 necks to mount the fin funnels. I also broke off part of the inner frame base inside these center slots to pass through the fin funnel wires. The result, I think, is not too bad, and it allows to neatly float all 6 funnels slightly behind and off to each side of the main kit. And the wires are managed pretty well too. You can see the fin funnel wires all disappear towards the center of the base, and at the back you can see 1 USB-C wire and a distribution board for the funnels. This allows me to disconnect each funnel whenever I want to move it around without having to flip over the entire base. If you decide to go the same route, or if you only want to use Action Base 7s to support your PGU Nu fin funnels, especially with the Kosmos LED installed, please keep in mind that the fin funnels are quite heavy. most importantly, they are top-heavy. The necks of the action-based 7s can barely support these things upright. I had to use a lot of DSPIAE joint strengthener to reinforce the necks. After all, the joint strengthener is pretty much just a thick glue that dries, transparent, soft and rubbery, creating more grip in the joint. Also, for some reason, the base pegs for action-based 7s are short little stubs and might be popping out of the square mounting plates. I fixed that issue with a combination of joint strengthener and some careful balancing of the funnels. In general, if you can find stronger mounting necks, I would advise using something else. But action-based 7s are easy to find and they are cheap. The rest can be fixed with a little time and effort. And I really hope that some third party at some point will come out with a dedicated designed action base for PGU Nu Gundam. Oh, and kudos to Kosmos for introducing a bunch of tiny rubber rings to manage wires for the fin funnels. Very thoughtful addition which was thoroughly missed on the High Nu and Sky Defender LED sets. And once installed, this LED set looks freaking amazing. The main body effect is spectacular, if only maybe the eyes are just a little dim. The chesticles are all dynamic, the backpack is bright and flaming, and the fin funnels are honestly just to die for. Using the included remote, there are 4 total groups the LEDs are split into: chest, main body, camera, head unit and cockpit, fin funnel cores, and fin funnel main effects. There is a ton of preset modes, or you can create your own configuration. You can also use the Kosmos Universe mobile app for extra control options. And last but certainly not the least, this LED set also remembers its configuration state, which means that if you turn it on, configure your lights, and then unplug the power and plug it back in, the kit will automatically go through its boot up sequence and then default to your latest configuration, which to me is the main selling point of these LED sets. I can't stand using remotes each time I need to turn on an LED set, and I prefer to control all of my kits via smart outlets. And before we wrap this review up, I also pulled my Perfect Grade, Perfectibility Unicorn and Ainta Industries Sky Defender model kits for some quick comparison. Unicorn uses an older Kosmos LED set which can be identified by this small remote. I unfortunately lost the remote for this particular kit and I was not able to increase the brightness of its LEDs, so what you see now is the lowest brightness setting. It might look a little dull on the video, but trust me, you don't want these LEDs anywhere near max brightness for hours on end. You'll just go nuts, they are way too bright. Even the lowest brightness draws enough attention and creates a very nice effect. The Unicorn LED set also consists of a direct replacement of the Bandai's own LED module for Unicorn Gundams and a bunch of extra custom LEDs for shields and accessories. Then the Sky Defender Kosmos LED set is from the same newer line as the PGU Nu LED set, and it uses a larger remote, and you can probably see the horrendous mess of wires here. I arguably did a pretty bad job managing those, but it also is great to see Kosmos add some extra tools in their PGU Nu set, like the tiny rubber rings to help the builders out, and of course the PGU Nu LED set. Here you can see it at max brightness, and I would say mainly due to the spectacular fin funnel effects, it is absolutely massive. Giggity. Here's a quick shot of all three at minimum brightness and with the filming lights turned off. I would say the Unicorn is still most perfectly balanced, PGU Nu easily stands out, and Sky Defender may look a little subtle by comparison, but in reality it looks quite pretty and well balanced too. So let's wrap this up. At $60 USD, this LED set is really hard to pass by. If you shelled out over 500 of your hard-earned dollaritos and you want to light up your PGU Nu, I would say you ought to seriously consider this LED set from Kosmos. It is 3 to 4 times cheaper than the original Bandai LED set, while blowing it completely out of the water in terms of features and options. Heck, if you choose to get the 6-fin funnel version of the LED set at $60 and get 3 action-based 7 packs for $10 each, you will still be at less than half of the Bandai's LED solution. So the choice is of course yours. And if you decide to get the Kosmos LED set, then I recommend recommend checking out GUNDAM and using reviewer code SKH. Not only will you get a good deal on your next purchase, you will also go an extra mile to support this little passion channel. And if you're on the lookout for your next Bandai or Kotobukiya model kit, then I can recommend GundamExtra.com. They are a great Canadian store with some of the best deals, great customer service, and most importantly, they help sustain this channel as well. As per usual, I mostly buy my model kits and everything else you see on the channel at full price with my own funds. Sometimes I get a little kickback after the videos are out, and sometimes I receive free product samples, but one thing remains unchanged. I always consider the total cost of the product at the time of review, and I never accept any creative input. So what you see is my genuine opinion, driven by passion and love for the hobby and the little community that we've built here. And that is about it. I hope that you enjoyed this review. Be sure to drop a like if you like this video and a comment if you really do. Subscribe for more cool content like this. I also have model kit therapy live streams every Saturday around 5:30 p.m. EST, where we get to chill and build some model kits together, listen to some tunes and rant about whatever. Join in and enjoy the good vibes. All of my gear and tools are listed in the description of all of my videos. Some of the links are affiliates and some give you nice discounts. And every time you use them, you go an extra mile to support this channel. There is a Facebook community page where I post high-res pictures of my builds, including work-in-progress shots. Make sure to check that out too, as most of those pictures don't get included in the videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.